Hey yo, welcome to Beyond the Mat, where it's all about the things and stuff. It's like this and like that. Welcome to Beyond the Mat, where it's all about the things and stuff. It's like this and like that. Welcome to Beyond the Mat, where it's all about the things and stuff. It's like this and like that. 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 Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Beyond the Mat. Today's show is brought to you by me, of course. Have you ever wanted some strange, wacky, and weird hand-drawn artwork hanging on your wall? Do you like strange things that when you look at them, your brain breaks? If so, head on over to jcoleyoga.ca and click on the art project link down at the bottom of the page and order your print today. If you'd like to skip the middleman, and I prefer everybody did, send me an email, jay@jaycoleyoga.ca, j@jcoleyoga.ca. Easy. And we can work something out in person, and I will manually fulfill your order, because we don't need no robots here. We don't need no robots here. Not yet, anyways. This show is also brought to you by Pixel Surprise. Check out pixelsurprise.com, where you can enter into a raffle draw to win a beautiful pixel quilt of your own design. That's right, you get to say what goes on the quilt. These blankets are so cool. Well, they're warm too. I've seen really neat renditions of your favorite video game characters made into quilts, among many other wonderful manifestations. So head on over to pixelsurprise.com and enter today through their Patreon link. This show today is brought to you by all the colors of the rainbow and the number 33. Ooh, mystical 33. And that will be the only hippy-dippy woo-woo content on today's show. I want to give a big shout out to this show's host over at anchor.fm. Without them, we wouldn't be doing this, folks. Today, this is a great conversation with a very colorful lady named Heather Macmichael. Heather is an enthusiastic eccentric who, through all of her trials and tribulations, has managed to stay incredibly positive no matter what. Heather is in constant pain due to a rare disease called CMT that leaves her with stabbing pains all over her body on a daily basis. Heather is a self-employed entrepreneur living in Nova Scotia, Canada with her cat, Pixel. And she is working hard every day to build up her life for the future. So please, a warm round of applause for the always eclectic and unique Heather Macmichael. I guess we'll just get started. So welcome Heather to Beyond the Mat.
Woo!
Woo, where all things beyond the yoga mat are possible and happen.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. So far, so
yeah,
good.
because it is.
So
Yay!
the reason, so Heather's my friend. We've known each other for, I don't know how long. I can't count.
Oh, I'm losing you, audio-wise.
Oh, really? You never left.
No, I know, but you just kind of got all muffled for a second.
Oh, weird. It's probably my connection or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Good old technology at work again.
Ain't that something?
Not doing what it's supposed to do. And then
so far, yet so far to go.
And then at the end of when I hang up, it's going to say, please rate the quality of this conversation, and I'm going to be like, yo, it's still 0. It's been 0 since the 90s, and it's always going to be 0
right.
until this is like phone call quality, or until we
can shake hands over the phone. I'm just not satisfied.
Like, I want a hologram. That's what I want. I want my hologram to show up in your living room, and your hologram shows up here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and we should be able to hologramically hug each other.
Yeah.
See, that's a real thing there. That's what they need to be working on.
That would come when we get to like put on these suits that have diodes all over it.
Yeah, probably.
And then,
as if they don't already use those.
Well, I don't know.
Probably.
I bet they do. But who's they?
Money talks.
And where are they? And can I
well,
hang out with they?
They're out there. I want to believe.
That would be cool.
You know.
Yeah, so the reason I asked you on to my show, not only because you're a really cool person to talk to, you're a great conversationalist, is that
thank you.
Heather has a very rare disease called CMT, and I cannot for the life of me pronounce this. I think it's French, Charcot-Marie-Tooth.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, well, yeah, I have that. Yep. And they say that it's rare. It is a rare disease, but it's actually the most commonly inherited form of neuropathy, and it's as common as multiple sclerosis. It's as common as multiple sclerosis. Everybody knows about multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
But nobody knows about CMT, and I think that it's because of its stupid name. Because if I say I have CMT disease, people think that I just really like country music television. And then if I sit, right? And then if I just go all technical and I'm just like, no, I've got Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, then people think that I've got a dental problem. But that is not true. Right. So the Charcot is from Dr. Jean, I think that's his name, Charcot, and he was like this brilliant dude back in like the 1800s, and he discovered like MS and probably like a whole bunch of other things. Polio, I think, was maybe him, and he just all these neuromuscular things, neurological things, neuropathical things, all of these different diseases, maybe even diabetes. I don't know. I don't know. But he was partly responsible for the Charcot-Marie-Tooth thing. Okay. And then Dr. Marie, I don't even know that guy's background, but Dr. Tooth was like a military doctor guy, and he probably didn't really do much else. But for whatever reason, he got all entangled with Dr. Charcot and Dr. Marie. And it was probably his stupid claim to fame, but I really wish he had changed his last name before he died.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. At least maybe at least use his middle name. Yeah, right? I could go for Charcot-Marie Henry disease. Yeah. Now here's the weirdest thing. I'm looking, so I just typed in, before I called you, I typed in to make sure that I said everything right. I typed in just the words CMT disease into Google, and then the first thing that comes up is, an ad, but then the second thing that comes up is the Wikipedia page, and it says, CMT is one of the hereditary motor and sensory neuropathies, a group of varied inherited disorders of the peripheral nervous system characterized by progressive loss of muscle tissue and touch sensation across various parts of the body, and it shows this weird mangled foot. Just to throw everybody off even more. It's like, okay, teeth and feet, what is going on? Right. I don't understand. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. It's so weird. Yeah. So, describing this in, regular people terms, what's... Well, if I was going... Are you asking me to do that? Yeah, for sure. Well, here's the thing. Everybody's different. So, my mother also has CMT disease, but she didn't know that she had it until I got diagnosed at 27 or 26, can't really remember. And she had been a nurse her whole life, and she had worked in the medical profession. Her father had CMT, but her father was in Scotland, and I don't think he got really diagnosed or told that he had CMT until he was basically on his deathbed. And then nobody bothered to say, hey, this is a hereditary condition, so everybody else in the family could potentially have it. Right. But my mom had no idea anything was wrong with her at all. So when I was growing up, my mom has, her feet are much more attractive than the feet on the Wikipedia page. Do not use that as a guide. It's not a good rule of thumb at all. But I would always see her feet, and my feet started to look a lot more like hers as I was in my early teens and, middle teens and whatnot. And I would just think, well, my mom is a nurse. She works really hard. She does 12-hour shifts on her feet. She's walking all over the place, and she's absolutely fine. So I'm just being like a big complainy pants about it. So some people in the family, every family with CMT is completely different. So some people know that they have it. Some people don't know that they have it. Some people never have any symptoms of it at all in their life. And some people, have one or two symptoms, and it's really weird how different it is. So I've got random stabbing pains all over my body, and that's
what clued me in that I had a problem. It wasn't that I was the slowest runner in my class. It wasn't that I was the weakest kid ever.
Right.
You know, it was none of that, because I was skinny and I'm short and I'm petite, because my mom is also skinny and short and petite, you know, and there was no one else who was like my size and weight in my class. So I didn't really have anybody to compare myself to. I was just like the runt of the litter in every single class I was ever in, which is not even typical for CMT.
Right.
Because you get bigger people. There's a guy who's 6'4" and he's got CMT in Britain, and he's got a hard time getting his gas cap off.
So it's every walk of life. It's every different size. It doesn't target a certain demographic that way.
No, and if I have children, I've got a 50% chance of passing it on.
Oh.
So I'm kind of deciding not to do that, and I'm pretty sure that if my mother knew that she had CMT, I wouldn't be here at all to talk to you.
Right. So you say stabbing pains all over your body in like chronically, right? Like random, and it's not
like 2,000 times a day.
Yeah. Is it like a certain time of the day when it's worse, or it's just constant all day?
It's pretty much all day.
Wow.
Although if I distract myself and I'm doing something that's really like takes a lot of concentration and focus, or I'm doing something that makes me really happy or whatever,
right.
I find I don't get too many stabbing pains. It's when I'm sitting around and I'm not really doing a heck of a lot, or I'm upset about something, or, you know, I'm slightly stressed out, or I'm anxious or whatever, then I tend to get these stabbing pains.
Wow.
And, it's weird, and it's really hard to control because, you know, you can't really control how stressed you're going to be a lot of the time.
No.
And if you become really relaxed, you'll get stabbing pains as well.
Right, so it's trying to find that middle ground somehow, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
and
so I just try to be productive and do something I really love to do as much as I can.
Right,
Uh-huh.
Which is, and this is the strangest thing to hear from someone like within my own age range, is that Heather is into quilting. And she makes these amazing, I'm talking like you're not here, you make these awesome quilts. Like, what's it called? Your company is called Pixel Surprise.
Pixel Surprise!
Woo! And I saw your quilts. They're awesome. They're like, take pixels from like your favorite like video games, Zeldas and Pac-Mans and Marios and all this kind of stuff, and take those or anything at all and pixelize it and put it on an awesome quilt. And I mean,
this is so much fun.
The word quilt is just so grandmotherly. You know, we need a different word for these because they're not really quilts when you make them. They're like a whole new experience. And
it's art, really.
It's art that someone either is going to sleep with, or their kids are going to sleep on it on their bed, or they're going to hang it on their wall in a frame, because that's what I would do with it, put it in a frame.
Yeah.
But like I sleep with a quilt right now, and I love quilts. They're awesome. It's like a mishmash of different materials and everything. And that's the other cool thing. Recycling, finding pieces of fabrics and things. And then I guess that's the kind of the downside is when you have to sit and like cut them into perfect little squares. I don't know if that's fun. That doesn't sound fun to me.
I've adapted. Somebody related to me, and I can't actually give up their identity, but they gave me like enough money to purchase an electric fabric cutter. Now I just have to like put my fabric into this machine, and it just turns my fabric into pixels. So that's really, 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 really good. That will keep me from getting arthritis for like an extra 20 years.
Now wait a minute. How does this work? Do you have to like load it in, take it out, load it in for each side that it cuts, or does it flip it around and cut a perfect square and just spit out a square?
No. You put 6 layers of fabric onto this cutting board thing, and then you put like a cutting mat on top of that, and then you just press this button, and this machine just takes it, and it's got like 9 little squares on it, so it can cut up to 54 pixels at once.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Now you're in business. Now you're cooking. You're cooking with fire.
Yeah, I really am. And and the other thing that's really cool about Pixel Surprise is my raffles.
Right.
They make me so happy. I love doing them because so far I have done, in January, I did a Mega Man. which is like pretty much at this point the only thing I can be sued over, and I don't think it's going to happen. And then February, the winner in February had designed this crazy anatomically correct looking pixelated heart. And I don't know how many years ago he did it, but, you create something once and then it's there forever. So I said, look, I could take this little handheld perler bead type thing you've got hanging on your wall, and I'll make it a gigantic quilty art thing. And he said, all right. So he subscribed to my Patreon for like $1, and he won the next month.
Wow. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, So, and then March was a rainbow unicorn that the winner designed in MS Paint.
Right.
Very awesome. And then April, somebody had a tattoo that looked like a cat, so they said they wanted a cat, so I looked at cats, and I found one that looked like her tattoo, so that was what that is. And this month, a lady in Edmonton won, and she's got a daughter, and her daughter has chosen an emoji.
I was just about to ask you if you've done any emojis, or if you would do, like, a whole quilt that had, like, several emojis on it. That might be cool.
I could. I think I could probably do one with like 4 emojis on it. Maybe smaller emojis, then definitely more. This is just one.
Yeah, you don't want not just one big, just one big one. One big one would be like a weird Pac-Man kind of thing. But,
a lot of people have made that connection. A lot of people have said that looks like Pac-Man, and it's like, no, it's an emoji. You guys are so old school.
A little off topic, but it's about technology.
Yes.
This just happened in the last week or so. Android rolled out with a new upgrade for the systems, which my old ass phone is not eligible for. I'm at the full amount of upgrades that it can have, and the new upgrade gave everybody all new emojis. So now, all over the internet and through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere that uses emojis, all I'm seeing are these little X's now. It just shows me a little X, and I'm like, oh. And then if you use like an old classic emoji, of course it'll still show me the old ones. But everybody's into the new ones now, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying to me. I got 3 X's from you. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? If this is X Factor, I'm out of the show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Or you're about to do something that's a little bit mature.
Oh, boom-psh. Hey-oh. So anyways, back to quilting.
Nice.
So you raffle them up. How do you choose?
I don't really.
How do you choose the raffle? Do you put people's name in a dish and draw names out? Like, how does a raffle happen? Do you use like a name generator online, randomizer?
So I have a Patreon.
Right.
So people sign up to my Patreon, and I make YouTube videos too. So I'm also on YouTube at youtube.com/c/pixel surprise. I don't know why the C's in there, but you need it. And if you subscribe to my Patreon for just $1, I put your name into my bingo cage.
Okay.
I love my bingo cage. And then every month I turn the wheel on the bingo cage and it picks the winner for me. And then I contact whoever that number belongs to. And then they tell me what they want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's fun and I love it. And I even pay for the shipping. So,
damn.
It's not like you're going to give me $1 and then you're going to win the lottery and then I'm going to say, hey, you got to pay me like $35 so I can ship this thing to you. I'm not going to do that. That's not how I roll. No.
So how has it been? How's it going?
Quite well.
In
terms of like starting up a business.
You don't got to give me the numbers or anything.
Some losses. You don't take a while to get going.
Oh yeah. Don't give the numbers. Don't give the numbers or anything, but like it's more than you thought, for sure.
Not yet.
No,
not yet.
Okay.
This is the thing. Like I'm slow. It's been winter. I haven't advertised at all.
Right.
I haven't put up a poster. Haven't gotten a flyer out. Haven't even paid for one Facebook ad. And I probably should, but I'm procrastinating because I figure there will be an easier way eventually. But so far, I've got 48 people in my raffle.
Okay, cool.
48. So that's pretty good. Still good odds for anyone who's getting in. Because, good luck with a lottery ticket and getting something with 1 in 50 odds of winning.
Yeah,
but,
really.
I would like to get up to 501, because if I was to get up to 501, I would start doing 2 quilts a month.
Okay.
Yep. Right now I'm just doing 1. So I work from the 5th is the day that I do the draw, and then the 6th is usually the day I've gotten a hold of somebody and they tell me what they want. and then the next like week or two is me just working on it, and then I send it away, and then I've got like 2 whole weeks to just like focus on something else that I'm working on, or like the rest of the business that isn't the sewing bit. So, and that gives me enough time, because I am suffering with this stupid illness, to take a bunch of days off and still get it done before the 5th of the next month.
Right.
So
Oof,
now
your life is hectic.
Still working on the emoji, but I had a migraine and I wasn't feeling so good, and then I got a fish tank, so I was setting up my fish tank too.
Distractions.
I needed some.
How are your because I remember visiting you and you had this like snail infestation that was going on. How did that ever resolve?
It didn't. It's still a big snail infestation.
Oh no. So you're now...
I'm not getting rid of them. I've got them in a tank by themselves, and they're just hanging out. And I give them organic salad every night.
Yeah. I mean, someday you could literally dump them in the ocean, but I doubt they would make it any longer than...
I can't do that. Yeah. Somebody here dumped a bunch of goldfish in the pond next to my apartment building, and now they've eaten all my frogs.
Oh.
And now it looks like there's actually kids out there who are killing the fish.
Like, the same kids who dumped them in there, probably.
No, they were dumped in there like 5 or 6 years ago. These kids are like 7 or 8.
Okay. So these kids
a little bit of a conflict of interest, you know?
These kids somehow went back in time before they were born.
Yeah, babies just throwing goldfish from their strollers into the pond.
I was thinking like maybe from the womb they somehow threw the... Woo!
Play. It's a different level of fish. Oh my. So.
Hey-o. This isn't that kind of a podcast, Heather. Yes, it is.
Sorry.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, I figured it might be. I mean, here we are. But, yeah. So, I don't know. I like my business. It works with my disease pretty well, because I still, I get what I need to get done, and there's, like, no pressure on myself. And the beauty is, even if, like, 200 people find out about my business tomorrow and they all jump on, I'm not going to be working any harder at all. Except, it'll take me, like, a few extra hours to put all the names into my bingo cage.
Right.
But,
right.
Oh, no.
Oh, darn.
So I don't know. It has, like, potential. I want to get off of being on disability, because this is garbage. I deserve better. Dang it. I'm gonna work really hard, and then I think it'll pay off.
I think so, too. I like your whole, like, business model. It seems to be, like, a good way to go. And I'm telling you, buy those Facebook ads. This is how I've run my business since I started. I put $30 into a Facebook ad, and it just snowballed from there. And then word of mouth happened. And then, I've bought several Facebook ads, but the first one, it set the ball rolling. And that's when I was like, wow, like I started getting calls within the first week. Clients after clients. So that was awesome. And
are you still doing Yogi Clean?
I sure am. I love it.
Oh my god.
I don't love it. Who loves cleaning? But
I love you cleaning. I loved it. My mother loved it. We loved it.
It satiates my like weird OCD-ness where I need to put everything in order. And when someone just lets me into their house and is like, do your thing, man. I'm like, yes, just stay out of my way. Stay out of my way. I'll have this place like immaculate and everything will be lined up in nice little orders and organized. And but really organizing is like my favorite thing to do. I've done that. Those were the first clients that I got, was people calling me into their places to help organize. And it was like kids' playrooms, garages, basements, things like that. People just for some reason, people have no idea how to organize shit. And I'm just like, how do you not know? Like, you put bins and labels and put like items all together, and like I'd be making these piles everywhere, and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? Well, you're making a bigger mess. And I'm like, look, things need to get worse. And as weird as that is, when you're in the middle of a nightmare already, things do need to get worse before they get better. So you got to kind of like take their like weird, disorganized everything, the hoarders show, and make that even worse somehow. And people are a little frightened at first, but at the end, everyone's been pretty happy. And you know what? It pays the bills. It pays my rent. I eat all the best food. I get all the free time in the world to do everything that I want to do, except for except for some random weekends, I guess. But I try not to book myself for weekends. And That's it. Yeah, like I think having the free time is like my favorite part about this whole thing is that, you know, I get to go to the park with the dog. I get to go on long walks. I get to go on hikes around the mountain and lakes, and it's, I don't know, I ride a bike now. So I ride a bike to work, and I take like a different path every day, which is awesome. And the thing about a study was done on, you know, as we get older, we start to get into these like, well, no, I don't even want to say that yet. As we get older, you'll hear this from everyone, like, oh, time sure flies. The older you get, like things start to speed up. And studies were done to try and figure out why that is. Like, why does our perception of time have to change from when we were children? And the thing is that we no longer have landmarks. So, like, you're taking the same bus every day, to the same job every day, to the same people every day. You're going to sit at the same desk and do the same menial tasks every day, or the same important tasks. Doesn't even matter. People who do random different shit every day of the week take a different bus every day. Take 3 or 4 different buses. If you have to walk down different streets every day, go somewhere different. It puts these landmarks in your mind so that you can look back. So like the person who's on wash, rinse, repeat, that person looks back, and they look back and the last thing they see is the last landmark, which was whatever, like however many months ago. Someone who just takes a different street every day looks back and they see that they took a different street yesterday. So that's how time seems to speed up for everyone and not speed up for others.
That makes sense.
People who are highly active and have and your job, your profession too, I guess. If you have a cool job that brings you somewhere different every day, I'm thinking like, the first thing that comes to my mind is like a police officer, I guess. They would never really be doing the same thing every day. It'd always be different, always be on the move.
Yeah.
Time is definitely not going too fast for them.
Right. My cat just came in.
Oh, good.
Yeah, hi Pixel. My cat's name is Pixel. What else would it be? And I've kind of taken in a stray, but I haven't seen him in a week, and I'm starting to worry about him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it one that just someone showed up on your door one day?
Well, I kind of have this terrible habit where I leave the back door open for Pixel, and then sometimes the guy downstairs, his cat comes in too, and I don't mind. They're both good cats, it's fine. But then last summer, raccoons started to come in as well. So that was fun.
Whoa! But in your house, raccoons came right in?
Yep. I got raccoons in my house.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually had one raccoon get right into my bedroom, and he picked up my candy, and then I tried to get him out of my place.
It's like, don't mess with my candy,
he took my chocolate.
Don't mess with my chocolate.
Pretty much. You know, I'm not going to eat it after he touched it.
How'd you get a raccoon out? How'd you get him out?
I got a broom. I've got a video. I'll send it to you.
Oh, cool. So... Yeah. But for the listeners at home, you got a broom and you whacked that sucker in the face.
No, I would never do that.
No, neither would I.
Heather puts mosquitoes outside in a fishnet. Oh no.
So you got a broom, kind of shoot him like, come on, buddy, let's get out of my way. Please don't eat all my stuff.
I'll send you the video. I'm saying, I wish I could keep you, but I can't.
Because of the rabies,
Tell me well, no, we don't have rabies in Nova Scotia, but we do have leptospirosis, and I do not want that.
Huh.
But no rabies. No rabies.
Wow. I didn't know
reported,
that.
At least in like the last decade or so.
I did not know that. I wonder.
Yeah, I knew that. Jesse, our friend Jesse, told me that there's no rabies, and I kind of didn't believe her at first, so I looked it up, and it was like, yeah, you know what, there is no rabies, it's amazing. And then I took Pixel to the vet when I first got Pixel, and I told the vet, I don't know if I really want the rabies shot, because do we really need to over-vaccinate my animal? And my vet was like, you know what, you're right, there's no rabies here, and if rabies shows up, we can still vaccinate her later.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah, so she only got 2 little vaccines, and she's totally okay.
I wonder how far that stretches throughout the country. I wonder, like, where there's no rabies and where there is rabies. That's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they just discovered it in PEI or New Brunswick, one of the two, and everyone's just like, how the hell did it get here?
Right. Especially
So I don't
PEI.
know.
PEI is an island for anyone who does, for my American listeners. Prince Edward Island is an island, believe it or not.
Right,
It has
so-
island in the name. It's the I in PEI.
Yeah. Even Newfoundland doesn't have island in the name.
You know
But
what?
it's an island.
You would not believe how many people I've spoken to out west here on the west coast of British Columbia, also all the way
Okay.
down into the States when I was there. Everybody thought that Nova Scotianers and Newfoundland is all connected.
Oh, good God.
Everyone thinks that. I'm like, you're Canadian. You don't even know our geography. I'm like, how old are you? You know, these like 40, 50-year-old people who are just like, what?
Well,
Like,
that's
oh,
painful.
you're
What
all
drugs
from,
were their geography teachers on?
like, you're all from Newfoundland.
Ugh.
Do you ever, how often do you go hang out with the Newfies? And I was like, never. It's a 6-hour boat ride that I'm not ever going to take. They're like, what? I'm like, no, it's a 6-hour boat ride on a ferry boat that costs a fortune to ride on.
Screw that.
Now, I rode between the tiny little channel that goes between Nova Scotia over to New Brunswick.
Right.
From Digby over to St. John. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What
I
a
took that ferry.
nightmare. I took it at night, and it was like a stormy time of year. It was like, it was kind of snowy out, and then the waves. My God, there was 10 to 15 foot waves. The boat
Holy cow.
was like rocking like crazy. Everybody's just inside like it ain't no thing. Like, yeah, this is just how it is. I was losing my shit. I was so.
I would
This
have
is
been too.
and this is when I used to smoke cigarettes. I sat outside on the deck on the life rafts, like they were in a box outside. I said, I'm staying right here, and I just chain smoked the whole time. Waves are crashing up, water is soaking me. I was soaked head to toe by the time it was over. I mean, it was cold, but
Wow.
it wasn't like that cold yet. And
Yeah.
holy shit. Scariest time of my life. Like, I've been freaked
Wow.
out on roller coasters. I've been freaked out by animals, and I've been freaked out by like angry people and things like that, but never has anything been so scary because these waves are just so massive. And I just kept thinking, like, if this boat capsizes, how are they going to find us? These waves are massive. Even if we get in a boat, these little tiny little life raft dinghies, like, what's going to happen when that 20-foot wave comes up? Like, woof. Like, okay. And I'm like,
What?
I didn't know that we had the possibility for stuff like that within the tiny little channel that is between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick.
Neither did I. I mean, I once took that trip, but it was like 11 in the morning, and it was a beautiful day, and it was just a boring trip for me. Boring. It cut like 3 hours off of our trip back to Quebec, but
Yeah, that was the cool
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, cut a lot of time off going all the way around.
Yeah.
Did not like that.
that was the only point. That was the only reason to do it.
Definitely, yeah, that was it. And also, well, I was going to Fredericton at the time literally from Antigonish. We had business in Digby. I think I was playing some rap shows or something. And then
Okay.
we had to go across over to Fredericton. So it was like, why go all the way to Digby and then go all the way back into like Amherst and all that? And like, yeah, anyways, that was exciting.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement in the East Coast of Canada for anyone who lives there.
Yes.
Oh my God, the way that you have
But
to
we are-
live.
We're not connected to Newfoundland, though.
We're not in any way.
We're not. No.
A little bit of the accent starts to leak over into Cape Breton for some reason.
A wee bit.
Just a wee bit there, lad.
Yeah.
I
It's
find
weird.
It's weird. There's like the whole like I love Cape Breton, and I love the whole like Celtic and Gaelic sound. It's so melodic. It's like what I think Elven. It is like Elven. It's like Elven on Lord of the Rings. It's all and I'm like, oh, fiddly-dee potatoes. It's got that little bit of it. It's got a little bit of an Irish tinge to it too, there, laddie.
PEI potatoes. That's right.
PEI potatoes.
But that's keeper. Yeah. Sound like Mrs. Doubtfire, but yeah.
It all comes from the same place. We all come from Pangea back in the day where we all spoke one universal language and we were all one.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the only thing that really makes sense to me when I look at the world and all the geography, and they find that like, oh, people from how like Asians are like totally linked with Inuit up north in their DNA and everything like that, in the genetics. And I'm like, when you look at Pangea, when you look at what they say, possibly, theoretically, is that all continents, and they do, when you look at the map, they do kind of fit together like a little puzzle with maybe some little channels in between where the water has been rising, so we don't get to see the land that was there before. It does kind of look like everything used to fit together. If that's true. If that was true, then yeah, everything was just one plane, one continent. Everybody came from the same, lineage. And that's why they find like, and I hope I'm not messing this up, but they find like similar rock structures in, what was it? Like, don't make me bring up a map. Come on, brain, do this. I think it was like Australia connects with, okay, do I need a map for real?
I can't help you.
This is why my show needs a producer, because I would have like a guy over there already bringing this up and putting it on the screen.
Our guy is in the shop. Our guy is in the shop. He's in the shop this week.
The guys, yeah. So we can afford robots.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. So what was it? Is that as far out as I can? I can't even zoom out that far. All right, so where's Australia? So Australia, definitely, it looks like it perfectly connects in with like India and Thailand and China.
Ah, yes.
So what it was that Australia, there was something found along the coast, rock formations, wood, animals, things like that also are found on the same coasts of like India, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, China,
that
Philippines.
Makes sense.
All this stuff kind of fits in together. And then the other weird thing, that's what it was. The coast of Australia would have connected over with like Madagascar across the ocean, the Indian Ocean, when it all connects together. And yeah, so Brazil, South America, even today, right now, looking at the map, it looks like it fits perfectly in with the bottom half of Africa. Along the coast of like Angola, Namibia, and South Africa. It looks like it fits perfectly in there. Also similar rock formations. Not even the formations, the style, the kinds of rocks that they found, sedimentary evidence and all that. So there's some light evidence that we did all connect back together. Once upon a time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have to like regulate your diet for CMT? Is there any kind of like funky diets you've ever gone through? Have you tried everything at this point?
Well, the problem is that there's so many things going on. So, and then there's the fact that, in my stupid history, I had thyroid cancer. So, my thyroid's gone. So that complicates everything like tenfold, because there's like a whole bunch of conditions that are CMT and like symptoms, and there's a whole bunch of symptoms that are like a thyroid problem. And I seem to have all of the side effects of being either overactive and underactive thyroid. I've got like both of everything.
Wow.
So, yeah, so like, since I'm not getting T3 and T4 as a synthroid, I don't even know which one I'm getting, but I'm only getting one of the two. But your body and anyone else who has like an active thyroid that works, they're getting natural T3 and T4 thyroid hormone. But when you're put on synthetic stuff, it's only one of them. And I can't help but feel like that is absolutely giving me the short end of the stick. I'm feeling all right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not just that it's CMT, it's that my thyroid is gone too. It's just that, I kicked cancer's butt, and, right. I don't really have pain from that. I just haven't really felt myself since they took my thyroid out in 2007.
Congratulations, by the way, on winning the fight. Ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
No.
So why do they say, how like there's like overweight or like obese people have a thyroid problem. How does that tie in?
I don't. Well, I know it's either producing too much thyroxine or not enough. But what I don't understand is why don't they just surgically remove your thyroid and then put you on the proper amount of thyroxine? But I'm sure my mom has answered this in a very scientific, medical way that I just didn't really absorb properly because I can't regurgitate that. There's got to be a way, because there's got to be a big reason why they don't do that. Maybe it's because you lose all your hair and you feel like garbage for the rest of your life. Not all your hair. But my hair has absolutely crapped out on me since 2007.
Well, if I never had to shave ever again, that would be nice. I would just wear a wig.
Right.
Or just be bald.
Oh. Well, that would be nice. Sure. Yeah.
I tried, this is really cool. I tried the no-no. I don't know if you've seen commercials for the no-no.
Is that like the no-no skin?
It's the no-no. It's a little like a pen that has like a little laser in it. And you can like...
Yep.
So they had it at the... it's called Showcase now, but it used to be called As Seen on TV.
Yes, I know.
With all this weird garbage that you can buy with stuff that lasts about a month. And so the lady came over and was like, oh, you go like this and you just run it across your, like, wherever you want the hair to not grow anymore. And she said it takes about a month of doing it every day to, like, really get down in and really, it kills the follicle inside your skin. Like, it kills whatever is in there that's producing the dead protein for the hair. And I ran it across my arm for probably just a few minutes, 5 minutes while in the store.
Yeah.
And I didn't have hair on that arm for probably 3 months. It never grew back. And then when it did grow back, it was just back like normal. So it really works.
That's weird.
And you don't have to do it every day, but if you did it every day for about a month, then you're not going to shave again for the rest of the year.
Wow.
And just doing it.
That's pretty cool.
It was hot, a little warm, and just run this little thing over your arm. The weird thing is that they're so darn small. It's such a narrow little nub at the end of it. I'm like, this would take me like a week just to shave my face with this thing for the first time. Like, no wonder you got to do it for a month. And if you're doing like legs or armpits or chest or anything, it would just be a nightmare. It takes so long. You'd miss them here and there. There'd be lines like when you mow the lawn and you see that little strip where Buddy missed because he didn't double up the lawnmower the right way. And you'd have like that. Imagine that on your face, just this line, a straight line of hair like growing down my beard. So you'd still
it'd be good for the unibrow, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, I guess for little things.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you wanted to like get rid of all your chest hair or whatever, it might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah. Geez, I got into I have a mild unibrow right in the middle that nobody knows about.
Woo!
Well, they know now.
That's all right.
Hey everyone. I started. I used to shave it with a little like razor, like zip, 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 zip. But I would cut myself, and people were like, "Why are you bleeding like on your nose?" And I remember telling someone like, "Oh, I shaved my in between." It's not like a thick, solid unibrow, but it's like a very light blonde. It's kind of bushy. And then someone was like, "Yo, why don't you just pluck it with tweezers?" And I was like, "Ow, no, that'll hurt too much." And then they said, "Yeah, but you'll pluck it out, and then you won't bleed, and you won't have to do it again for like another month or so." So I started learning how to pluck with tweezers. It hurt so darn much. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And now I go in the washroom and I'm just like, done. The pain, I don't even feel it anymore. You overcome that kind of stuff. You become accustomed to it and used to it. And I mean, that first time though, I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
That's for sure.
The first cut is the deepest.
Oh, I guess.
Once was dating a guy and he told me that I had a unibrow and then he went out to work. And then, I don't know if he said I had a unibrow, but I think he was, insinuating that I had like some extra growth going on. So I spent like the whole morning with tweezers in front of the stupid mirror looking for every single, and I mean, I'm talking like see-through hairs, picking everything out. And then he came back and he was just like, that was a joke.
Oh, no.
I was so mad. Because that hurt. I didn't need to do any of that.
It's like those little peach fuzzy ones that no one can even see. You're in there like ripping those out.
Exactly those.
I get
no
those.
Color,
I usually get those too when I use the tweezers. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we all do.
Get in there, get it all away. Someday I'll be an old man. I won't care about any of this shit anymore. I'll just be letting it all grow out. And since I stopped. I've had a haircut my whole life. I've always had a haircut. Like I've had like a fade. I've had a crew cut. I had the Tintin. I had the Tintin for a long time with that little flippy do coming up at the front.
Yay.
And I've always like really like manicured everything. I do like around my ears, the little zip around the ear. And I've cut my hair myself for the most part. Once in a while, as a treat, I'll go to a barber. But I mean, I'm pretty good with the clippers. And I could do my whole head, a fade and everything without a mirror.
Yeah.
Just kind of like hanging, just kind of bent over in the bathroom, zip, zip, zip. And I remember my roommate one time, he's like, man, you're brave. And then I did it.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow. He's like, I don't know how you did that. He's like, I don't trust myself to do that. He's like, I'm going to the hairdresser. See you later. And now, though, I've been letting my hair grow out for just a little bit over 2 years now. I haven't cut it. And it's like super long. But now I don't notice things like the 8-foot ear hair that's grown out and has coiled in with the rest of my hair.
That's nice.
Like I have these like whiskers that grow off the edge of my ears now. These long, like, looks like cat whiskers. And I'm like, why does the human body need that? Is it like for cats have whiskers to detect around them for going through narrow passages and holes and shit like that, or going through the woods to feel trees around them? Like there's a reason for whiskers. And I'm like, what's the reason for these long ass strangly ear hairs coming out now? And I'm like, I'm not
It probably helps keep the earwigs out.
Maybe more aerodynamic, I guess. I can run faster.
Maybe aerodynamic.
Maybe. Hey.
That's right. Hey.
She went there. Getting all punny.
A little bit.
Whoo. Have you ever meditated? Have you ever tried to meditate?
I've tried it. It's hard because I'm still getting stabbed and I'm itchy all over. It's just kind of hard to... I tried. I really did try.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard for me to get a centered, peaceful... It lasts for like 5 seconds. And then it just feels like someone comes up behind me with a pin and just jabs me in the back or the face or the foot or worse. So, unfortunately, I'm in a pretty, like, tumultuous state of unrest all the time.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Basically, my meditation is quilting.
Right.
I just zone out.
Right.
And I listen to good music.
And
then before I know it, I either run out of thread or I have to seam rip a whole bunch of shit. So, I swore.
Beep.
My dick.
Which I would definitely correlate that with the flow state, because that's what happens. I mean, when I get into like making music, writing lyrics, you get in a flow state and the world dissolves around you. I've had toothache before. Toothache goes away. Everything just melts away, and you're in the zone. It happens doing yoga. It happens on stage performing too. Everything melts away. Athletes get it. Runners get it. A lot of runners get the flow state just from jogging. And it doesn't matter. You can be listening to music or not listening to music, and you're just running on the side of a road. And after, I think it takes like an hour at least. After about an hour, you're just in this like...
Right.
You're not thinking about anything. You're not worried. You're not thinking about tomorrow or yesterday. And it's like this meditational bliss.
Yeah.
And so you're getting there in the quilting world too, which is so cool, because that means that's like your passion. It definitely shows your passion about it.
I have to be careful though, because my last passion, which is the quilting, has become my career. And now my stupid passion is politics. So I'm worried that... that I'm going to end up as a politician in the future. It's kind of scary. I hope not.
I would love it if you were a politician. I would come vote for you. I would move back to Nova Scotia.
That would be hilarious.
Just to get an address, just to vote for you, and then I would move the fuck out of there.
Aww. That's still very sweet. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. No, because I know...
love my poor place.
I know that you are someone who just doesn't like allow the mainstream so-and-so to just kind of dictate to you how it is. Like, you're someone who gets deep and you research and you spend hours and hours and days and months really delving into what it is that you're into and what your interests are. So I would know. I know that you're going to read the bills. I know that you're going to read all the proposals. I know that you're going to not even just read them, but like thoroughly go over them and be like, well, now wait a minute. Why are you using that word? That's kind of a shady word to use there. That word kind of means
list of questions. Mm-hmm.
That word kind of means maybe. Is it a maybe, a should, or we don't know? Just definitely say yes or no. I mean, that's
not all black and white all the time.
It's not all black and white, but it definitely should be within certain laws and rules and things like that.
Yes.
Because
very true.
I don't know. It's one of my biggest like pet peeves is when you call up some professional place, let's say the phone company, and you're haggling over a bill, and you're finally talking them down, and you go, okay, so this is not going to be on my bill anymore, and they go, well, no, it shouldn't be, and I'm like, well, don't say shouldn't. Tell me that it is going to be or it isn't going to be. Well, it probably won't be. And you're like, can you really definitely not just say, just humor me for a minute. Just say it's not going to be there. Well, it shouldn't be. And it's like, can you guys just really come up with some definite thing? And it's the same thing in politics. I feel like phone companies the law is written by the same lawyers that politicians have.
Makes sense.
Maybe even better ones.
Maybe.
From the amount of trouble I've been in with phone companies anyways.
Aww.
No, I had this weird thing happen where, I mean, I was paying my phone bill perfectly on time. I had like really good credit. Everything was running so smoothly in life. And then for some reason, I missed a payment. I don't know why. And I was doing it all online too. So like I would go in and pay all my bills on the same day. I would do all my credit cards. I would do everything online the same day, every month, the same day, the same amount. And for some reason, I don't know if I probably had like tabs open with everybody's tab. And I think I probably just thought I did that one and just hit close on my browser. Well, they don't call you and tell you or anything, especially when you're in like when you're in good standings like that. They don't tell you. They just bump it over to next month and they give you a late fee. So the next month I was like, whoa, why is my bill double? And I remember calling them going, oh, you missed it last month. And I go, okay, so I'll just pay double this month. And they go, yeah. Well, on top of that, there was a late fee. This late fee goes in a special account that doesn't necessarily show up on your bill. You're just supposed to know about it somehow. And that late fee then continued to build interest for the next 9 to 12 months. So after a year went by, this late fee had become $300 on a phone bill that was already $90 a month. So at this point, they just cut me off. Everything got shut down. They shut down my internet. They shut down my phone. They shut down everything every service I had. They just shut it all down. So I was like, wow, now y'all want like an extra $300 for some weird thing you never told me about, for some interest. And let's not forget, interest is nothing. Interest is just, people saying that you owe me more than you really do. That's all an interest really is. It's like, I understand the late fee, sort of. I mean, I kind of don't, because I paid it within a month. I had paid off the full amount, so a late fee should have maybe been waived. But then to just put it aside like that and let it keep growing and growing and growing to this monster. And that's the last time I ever had a phone. So that was 2014. I have not had a phone in my name again. I use a free internet phone. I have an app that is a text app. I have a real phone number. It's a local BC phone number. Anyone can call me or text me. I just have to be online. And
That's impressive.
the coolest thing about here is that we have Shaw cable. So Shaw is like,
oh yeah,
they're like the Rogers of out west. So
I remember Shaw.
Yeah,
I remember Shaw.
We had Shaw back east once upon a time. I do remember that too.
Yep, I think we did. No, I know, but I remember Shaw when I was out west.
Okay. But we did have them. We had them in New Brunswick at one time.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, Shaw does this really cool thing where if you have home internet with Shaw, they give you this open, free Shaw Wi-Fi everywhere in the city. Mostly everywhere. There's tiny little nooks that it doesn't reach. There's a few streets that it doesn't reach. There's some suburbias it doesn't reach to. But for the most part, all of Victoria is covered by this Shaw open, free Wi-Fi, and it's everywhere. And all you got to do, you go online.
Yeah, that just put two and two together for me, because wherever I was out there was always an option to hook up to Shaw, and I was like,
yeah,
how is this possible? I'm not even near anybody's house right now. I mean, whose network is this? I could never figure it out, and it was always like a different Shaw somewhere. Mm-hmm. But it was always a Shaw. So thank you. That just put the connections together.
And I mean, it was so cool. It's so cool because like now I'm connected almost everywhere. Pretty much every bus stop for sure has the Shaw aimed at it. There's a tower or there's a receiver somewhere, and it's shooting it at every bus stop.
Awesome.
Every bus stop that has a shelter seems to have it. So even if you're just kind of cruising by, you can always just stop at a bus stop and connect to the Wi-Fi. And it auto-connects. And you can make a phone call with the free text app, do all your messenger and everything like that. So that's really cool. One of the cool things.
You got it hooked up.
I know. They say that BC is like really expensive to live out here. And they say that the name BC means bring cash. But I haven't found that. I have not found that at all. I found it to be actually a little bit cheaper because the food is cheaper. There's so much awesome farms, vegetables. Everything is grown right here, and it's so much cheaper than the stores. Just that alone is worth it for living here. The things
the rent really isn't any higher, really. I mean,
no, not really.
Is it? I mean, my place, I don't know. I live in like a pretty rundown place. But I remember I visited BC once, and my friend was in a one-bedroom apartment and paying like $810 a month or something, and I thought, well, that's fairly decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good part of town, and it wasn't like a shoddy place. It was pretty good.
That's the thing. It depends.
I couldn't help but think, like, this is not that expensive.
No, not really. It depends on where you live. Like how close you are to downtown, where all the stuff is, where the action is happening. So the closer you get downtown, the more expensive it goes. And they're now, it does get pretty crazy. But again, the quality too of the place changes everything. Yeah. Like you can get an $800 whatever 2-bedroom something downtown, but it might not be luxury this and luxury that.
Right.
But that's the weird thing. This city, they don't want poor people to live here. They do not want anything to do with people who don't have any money in the bank. So to push and keep everyone like that out, that's why the rents are so much more. And that's why every new building downtown is luxury apartments, luxury living, luxury this, and there's these skyscrapers being built, these huge buildings, like these beehive buildings. I'll never live in a beehive building like that ever again.
Right.
I can't stand it. Someone to the left, someone to the right, someone up and someone down, and me trying to like record music and things like that, or just have a party, or just play my music when I want. But I mean, as I get older, I don't care about that kind of stuff too much more. But the recording thing,
because you can use headphones.
But recording vocals, I guess, is kind of the important thing for me. But yeah, so by driving the rates up first of all, by making everything luxury living, you're only going to get a certain demographic of people wanting to come here to live in that, and they're going to have to be someone who can get a job here. There are no jobs.
True.
This is like the one place where everyone is a lifetimer, and then, well, you know what? No, there is a need for a whole bunch of jobs, but they're like not willing to pay these people. They're like minimum wage jobs. There's thousands and thousands of minimum wage jobs, but there's nowhere for anybody to live. That's kind of the problem.
Who's going to be able to afford living there on a minimum wage job?
Exactly. So everyone who's here, who already has a place, isn't giving it up. They already have a job that's not minimum wage, that's paying for the place that they're not giving up. So that's happening.
Right.
And then there's all these companies, though, they're always hiring, and you always see ads everywhere because, but yet, like I said, it's more of like, and I don't want to I don't think it's right to put certain jobs above or lower than each other. I'm kind of a communist like that. But
me too.
They're more of like introductory, what the world calls introductory jobs, what should be for like, for your high school students to get their feet wet in the world of like McDonald's and franchises
Tim
and things
Hortons,
like it. The Tim Hortons.
Second Cup.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Franchises.
I did it.
Oh, I did it too.
Yeah. That's what you do.
That's what you do. But you know what? There comes a time when it's like, wait a minute. You know what? This could also be an adult's job too. If y'all just paid them.
Yeah.
Adults could work here, and adults would work here, and they're like, oh, this is not a job for adults. But then they complain, like, why can't we get anyone to work here? Why can't anyone, why doesn't anyone... Simmer. Okay, so the battery just died, and the dog barked, and we're back.
And the bee stings. Oh.
You got a bee sting? What?
No, not right now. Weirdly enough, not right now. But it will happen.
It will happen. The place that I live in, it's like an ensuite. It's a ground level flat, and the owners live also upstairs. And
nice.
They just bought 3,000 bees.
Oh.
Not honeybees, because they're kind of like vegan and stuff. They don't want to like steal the bees' honey and all that. I guess that's a big issue now. So they got these pollinator bees, and they've got a little nest, and it's bolted to a tree out front, and they've just been kind of buzzing around everywhere. And they go out, and then they come back. And it's cool because when you buy the bees, they come frozen, and you keep them in your freezer in this dormant state until it's time to put them back in their little box. And that's the coolest thing about bugs, amphibians like frogs, things like that. You can totally freeze your pets if you so.
Do not try this at home.
I used to have an iguana.
Not without a copious amount of research at first.
No. Don't just grab a bee and put it in the freezer. Like, that's not how it works.
No, don't do it with your fish either, or your pet frog, or your betta. Don't do it.
No, but I'll tell you, and anyone listening who doesn't know, if you have an iguana, and I had an iguana who used to act up, and it would whip and bite and hiss and everything.
Oh yeah, some of them have very big attitudes.
Oh my God. And it was the runt of the litter, and its growth had been stunted because they had never allowed it out of this tiny little cage. So this thing was like 6 years old. By 6 years old, this thing should have been like 2 feet long, and it should have weighed at least, several pounds. But it was just this tiny little wispy thing. And he would snap, and the bites on those things are incredibly painful. They have these 2 rows of clear teeth, and it's like a razor sharp sheet of glass. Their teeth are clear, they're see-through. So when that thing bites you, it's like getting sliced with glass.
Like glass.
Yeah. And then it would whip. And I was
and then it would nay-nay.
It would whip you with its tail, and it would run around and whip you again. And I found out online that the trick is to train an iguana, you have to like maybe put on some thick leather gloves and just reach down to grab it and let them bite you. And don't pull your hand away. They learn exponentially. Right. They learn that if you whip your hand away and go, he goes, oh, that works. Cool. I'm going to keep doing that. And if he whips you and you pull your hand back, he goes, yeah, that works too. So this iguana had learned growing up. I got him from a buddy of mine. So it was like an adoption. It was a rescue pet, kind of, because he was going, they were going to throw him away. They didn't want him anymore. And I was like, definitely, dude, I'll take him.
People are terrible.
I couldn't even afford to feed myself, and I was like going around into people's gardens at night to steal lettuce to feed my iguana before I was even feeding myself. So I really loved that guy. And I called him Spider-Man because at first I had to keep him in a little bird cage, and he would hang upside down the way Spider-Man hangs upside down with his feet crouched down. It just looked exactly like Spider-Man, maybe with a tail. But anyways, when the iguana would act up, you could take him and put him in the fridge, and he would go into a dormant sleep mode, like it was winter. And so whenever he would act up, I was like, "Oh, you little bugger!" And I just grab him and throw him in the fridge, and he would just calm right down. He'd get really sleepy and groggy, and then I would take him out after like 5 minutes, and he'd be totally chill and cool. I mean,
you could put them on your eyes as a nice relaxing stress mask.
Oh my God, no!
Nice and cool, full-blooded, soothing.
They carry the salmonella though, just like some turtles do. So you really don't want to touch a lot of lizards and things. Like, you don't want to touch them and then eat. If ever you handle an animal like that, you got to wash your hands really good.
Makes sense.
When I was a kid, when I was really young, I don't know, like 10, 11 or something like that, maybe 12. Huh? My dad, I wasn't with my dad, but he was driving home from the grocery store, him and my stepmother, and there was a rock on the road, and the rock was spinning. And he goes, "Look, Alice, that rock's spinning." And they drove over it, not like drove over it with the tires, but they drove their car over it. And he looked in the rearview mirror, and the rock is still spinning. And he goes, "That rock's still spinning." So he pulls over, and he goes over. He's like, "That's cool. I want a spinning rock." That's all he was thinking. A rock that spins and keeps spinning, and it didn't stop.
Sure.
He goes over. Oh, it's a snapping turtle. Snapping turtles have these thick, scaly skin, and they have fingers and thick claws, these black claws. And he goes, "Cool." He goes, "Jason would probably like a snapping turtle," and he puts it in the trunk. Drives home, takes it, puts it in a box or something. And so my parents were divorced, and I would only visit my dad every once in a while. So when I came to visit my dad on the weekend, he's like, "Hey, I got you something." And he told me the story about the spinning rock. And he goes, "Here's a snapping turtle." I was like, "Cool." So I found out, what does a snapping turtle eat? Found out they really like hamburger. They really like bananas. And they love earthworms. Earthworms were like its favorite thing. So I would have to go out hunting at night for earthworms. And then I would just feed him random hamburgers. And it would never eat the vegetables I gave him. It would never eat lettuce or carrots or anything like that. It was definitely a meat eater. It'd eat bugs. And this thing just roamed free through my house. It just let him go anywhere he wanted throughout the day. I mean, he couldn't climb stairs, so that was cool. He stayed on the ground level. And I had him at my dad's again. And I have a stepsister at my dad's. Or not a stepsister, half-sister.
Okay.
She's really susceptible to sicknesses. She would catch every cold kind of thing. And she caught salmonella from the turtle. And it almost killed her. Like, she was on her deathbed. It was intense. It was so scary. She had to, she was in the hospital for a month or something like that. It was nuts. Just to have to, because of a turtle. Because she played with it and then didn't wash her hands after and then ate some food or something. And they couldn't figure out what it was at first because, no one really linked the two together because I would bring the turtle back to my mom's house during the time that we weren't at my dad's. So, it didn't really clue in. Turtle, salmonella. Then when they finally realized, oh, wait a minute. You had a, snapping turtle in your home. Y'all never mentioned that. Okay, definitely. Then they ran the test. Oh, yeah, it is salmonella. So that was creepy and scary. And then, anyways, the turtle ended up escaping and got away, and ran off into the forest somewhere one day. That's all right though. He probably needed to. You're not allowed to. You're not even really supposed to keep pets that you find in the wild. And I had called. I know. This was in New Brunswick. I had called a local. I don't know what they're called, the park ranger or what would it be? Okay. The local
wildlife.
The wildlife management, whoever.
Conservationist, sort of.
Yeah, and I found
that word.
Conservationists. And I found
like
the
that.
guy who was in charge, who knew about turtles and amphibians and stuff like that. I don't even know if you can call it an amphibian because it never went in the water. It didn't swim. I don't know. It couldn't even breathe underwater because I had a tank for it, but he would never go in it. And even when he did, he would just drink a little bit of water and that was it. But I found the guy who knew everything about the turtles, and he's the one who told me about the earthworms and bananas and the hamburger and all that. And he was like, really though, he's like, you shouldn't be keeping this thing. Really, you should be releasing it back into the wild, man. Like, you're not supposed to hang on to these things like that. But I was like, whatever, I don't have to listen to you. Bye. Thanks for the advice. And yeah, so he got away. Never had a name though. Never named the turtle. So it never became like anything like that would like I don't know. Like Spider-Man was dear to my heart. Cats and dogs that I've had are dear to your heart. They have names and personalities. Turtle had zero personality. It would just sit there. It would just walk around the floor looking for things to eat. And that was it. And then it would sleep over in the corner. But the weird thing was is that they would kind of become, and the iguana too, they would become toilet trained to like always like pee and poo on the same spot on like the same newspaper kind of thing. If as long as you would put them and you would put the pee and the poo back on the paper in the corner, they would clue in and go, oh, that's where that goes. Okay. Which was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
The iguana, their poo looks like seagull poo, so that wasn't very good.
Ew.
Like, ew, yeah, it's kind of gross. Yeah.
Could be worse.
It could be puppy poo, which looks like puppy poo.
Well, that smells probably a lot worse than turtle poo, but I don't know.
No,
I haven't smelled turtle poo, but I've definitely smelled dog poo.
The turtle didn't have any smell, really.
No.
No, they're very...
Just like parrots. Parrot poo also does not smell.
No? Wow.
Parrots and turtles. I think that reptiles and birds are related, so...
Oh, they're like they're like little dinosaurs, if you look at it that way. They're like mini dinosaurs who like somehow...
claws in the eyeballs, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard about like... I'm sure you must know about chickens. Chickens are like these little dinosaurs. How many...
Yeah, I know.
How much chickens are little murderers and how much they kill. It's insane. If you look up the numbers of how many critters and bugs and chickens will eat anything that comes by. Like, they're not just going to eat grains and chicken feed. They'll eat a mouse. They'll eat a mole. They'll eat anything that comes by. They would eat a person if a person was shrunken down small enough.
I believe it.
I mean...
They'll even eat turkey. They'll eat chicken.
They eat the other chickens too, yeah. When one becomes sick or whatever, they all swarm on them and attack them and eat the other chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's messed up.
What a world. Yeah. What a world we live in.
I know, right? Things are terrible. Ugh.
Everything's eating each other.
Morbid.
What have I incarnated into? It's just death and murder everywhere. And then people go like, yeah, but there's also so much beauty. And I go, I don't know. Is it really? I mean, there's beautiful flowers and beautiful trees and beautiful people and sunsets and oceans and frog ponds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's all this beauty.
There is still cheesecake for the not vegans.
There's cheesecake. So my roommate made a vegan carrot cake that is to die for. But
that's good.
The ingredients cost like over $50 to make it properly.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, nutmeg is not cheap, so...
Not even the nutmeg.
There's that.
I guess it's because she made everything organic, is what it was. But it came to like over $50 to make this like carrot cake, and that ended up being my my birthday cake, which was really cool. And
yay!
Almond icing made out of cashews. Sorry, not almonds. Cashew icing. So it's kind of like agave syrup, I think, or maple syrup with the cashews all blended up into like a creamy paste, and it's so good. Amazing stuff. Amazing. And I could just eat a bowl of She didn't need to make the carrot cake, to be honest. I would have just eaten the bowl of icing. Would have been great for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have, like, I don't eat sweets, but I can have a sweet tooth. Like, I can have one of the worst sweet tooths out of everyone. But I struggle so hard to not do it. And the best way so far has been when I'm like in the grocery store and I see like Mars bars and O. Henry bars and all these chocolate Easter shit is on sale. I just go, man, it's all plastic. You can't eat that. It's plastic.
Right.
It's gonna go through you. You're just gonna have like some temporary sugar pleasure on your tongue. Like, why don't you just grab a bowl of sugar and rub some sugar on your tongue? That would be way more healthy than eating all this weird synthetic plastic. And that's my way of like brainwashing myself into like not buying it. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, Kit Kat bar, hook me up. O. Henry bar, hook me up. What's that? Maraschino cherry things, hook me up. I want everything. But it's definitely not vegan. Any of that stuff is not vegan. But then even the vegan stuff that's out there, I'm like, oh, I'll eat all of that too. But I just gotta tell myself, yo, it's all plastic. Because I've been doing this ketogenics diet where there's no sugar, no carbs, all fat and vegetables. Whew. Oh yeah. It's rough. It was rough. It can be rough. It goes up and down, I guess. It's kind of... It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Such is life.
Hey, you got to keep things interesting, though. I mean, I don't know. If you just do the same thing all the time, you got to have what I like to call a treat day. Because all these diet people or nutrition people who talk about their health and the foods they eat, they always have a cheat day. It's like, oh, my cheat day is coming up. And I'm like, but when you really research, especially with things like keto, they encourage you to not go like super strict the way that I do. Right. Don't go extreme with it. Like, give yourself, like, have a day where you're going to have a light amount of carbs, have some sweet potatoes, have some French fries. Like, don't go crazy trying to not have everything. Don't be that strict and hard on yourself. But they call it, they tell you to do that. So I'm like, so it's not cheating if it's actually in the rules to do this. So it's more of a treat day. And I just said that word so many times that this dog is looking at me sideways like, yo, where is it? You said the T word, man. Where is it? You keep saying it, but I don't see them.
Wow.
I'm going to have to give her some now. Or if you wait 5 minutes, they usually forget.
That's, the human condition. Just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Do you still go to like, do you ever go out? Do you ever go to like any parties or anything? Like music events?
Not really. I mean, at this point, I've become a hermit because I've been focusing on my business so hard.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, like, to be honest, I don't really, no.
I mean...
Because for me, like, if I go out to a show or whatever, I kind of need a place to sit down, and a lot of these things that are shows and parties and concerts and things like that, just not so friendly in the sitting down thing unless you're, like, in the senior citizens section. And, you know, I would love to join the Red Hat Society, but I think that I'm still a little bit premature for that, so...
I think they would welcome you in. They would welcome you in. You go in with, like, a lawn chair and, like...
They might. I don't know. I'd have to take a cane, and I could. I mean, I have one.
I mean, dye your hair gray?
I'd just get a gray wig, you know, add some wrinkle lines on my face with some makeup, and then... I don't know, complain about how everything's overpriced and nobody respects their elders anymore. Could
you even wear a wig? Because you have, like, really long, beautiful hair. Like,
no, I don't. I actually had my hair cut. Because it's been falling out so much that there's just... It's horrible. So, now it's, like, cut up to, like, halfway up my back. And,
wow.
But I was going to shave it.
Wait.
Like my compromise.
It's cut up to halfway of your back? That's still pretty long.
Yeah, it's still pretty long. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
It's not as long as it was, and I miss that. But that's what happens when your thyroid decides to crap the bed and move out on you. And that's what happens. So, but yeah, I was considering just shaving my head and starting again with hair. But,
at this point, though, no, don't go there.
Yeah.
I have so many friends who have shaved their heads. So many, like, lady friends who they all, like, at first it's like this empowering, I don't need long hair. I can be a strong woman without this beauty manufactured what society thinks is beauty. I don't need any of that. And then they cut it off and they're like, oh my God, why did I do this? And then you start looking for wigs. And then you realize that a good wig, a shitty wig, starts at $300 for a shitty wig. Unless you want like a plastic synthetic looking, like, you know, from the
Value Village style. Yeah.
Or like the Halloween store kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if
not too convincing.
I wouldn't recommend cutting it all the way back, like shaving it, but hey.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna deal with it at this length, but I really would like to dye it red again because I miss that. It used to be so red all the time.
Yeah.
But the last time I dyed it red, I absolutely cooked my hair. So since then, I've been a little bit like once bitten, twice shy. You know, you don't want your hair to get bitten.
No. So
no.
That reminds me of when I burned the crap out of my hair when I was like 18 or 19. My cousin, who was living in Toronto, came down to the East Coast to visit, and her being from like the big city, like the big city, I was like, yo, can you do cornrows? And my hair was down to just past my shoulders. And she's like, yeah, I can definitely do cornrows. I was like, yeah, I want cornrows. Because like I was into gangster rap. I was wearing baggy pants, and I was into
hardcore.
I was into gangsta shit in high school. I was in a gang. I had weapons all the time. Like it was weird. Little white boy in like rural New Brunswick, thinking they're all that, or worried. More of a worry. It wasn't like thinking. I was more worried about. I don't know. It's weird when you listen to so much gangster rap and when all you watch is mafia movies and gangsta movies from like the hood, Boys in the Hood and all this stuff. It makes you think and feel threatened for your life. You think, oh, the shit's going to go down. Today's the day. Shit's going to go down. I better protect myself because it's going down. This is it. And you live life that way every day, and you start to really believe it. And because that's all the media input that's going into your mind, that it starts to reflect back, and everywhere you look, everything's a problem. Everyone is a villain. Everyone's out to get you. Everyone's just there to mess with you. When in reality, none of that was going on. It was all in my mind. So here I am, young kid, thinking it's going to be so cool to have cornrows when none of my other friends have cornrows, because nobody in Moncton, New Brunswick even knew what a cornrow was. So she puts in like 4 cornrows, and my hair is so thin, it's so fine, and it's so silky soft all the time that they wouldn't stay. They just kept falling out and unraveling. So I was like, all right, forget about it. They wouldn't stay in. So I got my hands on some, if you buy like hair dye at like the drugstore, you know how there's like the bleach that comes with it?
Yes.
To like bleach your hair first. I was like, I'm going to put the bleach in. And then I said, if I put the bleach in and I let it sit for the amount of time that it says to let it sit, everything will be cool. I'll bleach all the color out of my hair. And then I was like, it started to like really burn and really sting on my scalp. But I was like, just fight through it, man. Just fight through it. And I did. And then the timer went off and I said, oh, what if I leave the bleach in for like an hour? I'm going to get all the color out. Well, what ends up happening is that it gets all the color out for sure, but it strips your hair. So your hair is now like a clear tube. If you can picture like a clear, you can see through the hair follicles completely. Like they're translucent. Good. Yeah. And you could see, because my head had been burning red, it kind of like, remember those things when you would go to the fair and it was like a flashlight with these little fiber strands that would come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely remember those
So
things.
my hair was doing that. The red glow of my scalp was making the hair follicles light up like I had orange hair.
Wow.
And if you've ever... Did you ever have a Barbie? That's kind of a weird question. If you ever had a Barbie...
I've had a Barbie.
Okay, you've ever gotten your Barbie's hair wet? And it gets all weird and awkward, and it's so you can't even... That's what happened to my hair whenever I would get it wet. Like wet Barbie hair. So I couldn't comb it. I couldn't run my fingers through. My cousin was still visiting. I was like, yo, can you put... Now that my hair's all messed up, now that it doesn't have that silky, soft smoothness to it anymore... Can you try and put cornrows again? So she tries to put the cornrows, but it was too hard to work with now. So she goes, here's what I'll do. How about braids? Why don't I put braids? She ended up putting 30 braids on both sides of my head. So I had 60 braids in total all over my whole head. I thought it looked so cool at the time. I was like, yeah, that's so cool. But
like Coolio.
Like Coolio. I was Coolio for sure. Oh my God. Looking back, I've seen photos. I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? It was like one of those moments, you know, when you're like older, you're like, oh God.
But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, and you know, nobody told me I looked like an idiot. And I was like, what were those people really thinking in the back of their heads? Like, Jay, what have you done?
I bet it was pretty good. I probably would have dug it.
I definitely dug it, and you know, because that's what I was into. Like I said, I was into all the gangster rap and all this stuff. So like, it fit with my life at the time.
Well, you made yourself happy, and that's what counts. So
yeah, yay.
Yeah,
Points
and you get a story for a podcast. So win.
Right. I mean, I think I've maybe told that story in person to like a couple people, but now the world knows.
That's okay.
No,
it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, so what is on your agenda for the rest of the month? What is you're doing
Are
another?
You asking what my Friday evenings are like? Because they're pretty free and clear.
I don't want to talk about my Friday evenings, that's for sure.
Well,
I'm gonna Netflix. I'm gonna Netflix and chill this evening. That's what I'm gonna do.
With who?
With myself.
Oh my God!
I'm taking some me time. Well, the beagle will be here. There'll be a beagle and the kitty.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Not all alone.
Yeah. So you're doing more raffles this month?
No, I'm not doing my next raffle until June the 5th, 2018.
June 5th.
I like saying which year because I don't want anyone to think maybe I'm not doing it until next year. Totally doing it.
And
on the 5th of June.
Something I wanted to ask earlier, but I just kind of skipped over it. Patreon. Does your Patreon, is it a one-time deal or does it come out every month? Because I've noticed
it's every month.
It's every month?
Okay. I do a raffle every month, and I make videos every month, too. So, yeah. Okay. Every month, it's $1. I mean, if you want to pay more, you totally can, but I want it to be affordable as possible for everybody to be able to afford some of my art. So.
And it's more encouraging to get more people on board, too. You know, build those...
I would love
to build those lottery numbers up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
And like I said, once I get to like 501 patrons, I will start doing 2 quilts a month. So then your $1 a month is actually 2 for the price of 1.
Huh.
Yeah?
Win-win. I'm so impressed because I've had Patreon since it came out, and I have never had one patron on Patreon.
Aww.
Oh, I know. I don't know if I'm not patroning right. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to get the people, you know. I mean, even for $1, I figured I'd have people just jumping on board all over the place. But
yeah, I mean,
I've got 112 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And only 48 in my raffle.
And I mean, that's only $12 a year.
I know.
To get like
a chance to win 12 phenomenal pixel quilts.
Exactly.
And you can win more than once. I mean, if that's what happens, then that's what happens.
Woo!
I know.
It is what it is.
So
that's how the lottery goes.
Yes. So if anybody is listening and would like to subscribe, and I haven't already said it 15 times yet, it's at www.patreon.com/HEZETT. And I'm on YouTube as well if you just look up Pixel Surprise. That is me. And I'm also pixelsurprise.com. Woo!
Oh, yes. Yeah. Cool.
I know. I actually have a website that just came out of nowhere.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Right?
Awesome. I'm definitely going to go. I mean, I'm sure I've already checked it out, but I'm going to go check it out again just because you just reminded me. And
it's a good time.
Yeah.
I've got to work on it some more, but it's coming together. It's good. You know.
They're like that.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. Every website is.
Yeah.
And I mean, then you'll get it exactly how you like it, and it'll just plateau for like a few months.
Pretty much.
And then everything will change. The internet's going to come out with a new way of the layouts are going to be all new. Everybody's doing things differently now. And then you're going to go, I guess I should probably upgrade my website. And then you'll call some designer and then they'll do it for you. Or you'll, at that point, have figured it out yourself. It's just the way of the web, I call it. The way of the web.
That is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, hey, Heather, I think we've touched down on like many really cool topics. We've been here for like quite a while.
It's been fun. I've really had a nice time chatting with you.
Yeah, you too. It's great to like catch up and everything. I mean,
I hope we get to do it again soon.
Definitely. I'll keep you on the never-ending list, I call it.
Good. Cycle it. Yay.
Yeah, I had a friend the other day on because I added everybody to a scheduling group on Facebook, and a friend was like, he's like, hey, anytime you have a cancellation, I'll do it. And he's a stand-up comic, so we really have like lots of cool stuff to talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And I find comedians are all over the board. Comedians are everywhere because that's kind of like their job is to be they're like a jack of all trades. They're really they're ready to be into all topics of everything. And he was like, hey man, anytime someone drops out, I'll do it right away. I was like, cool, you're on the you're on the never-ending list. So you're now on the never-ending list.
All right, that's cool.
Cool. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. Sharing.
Thank you for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's lovely.
Woo.
Yes, indeed.
Well, as I like to say at the end of every show, peace, love, and light, namaste, and all that other good noise. And we out of here. Goodbye. Ding.
Awesome. Bye.
Okay, folks, that was such a cool episode. I mean, I've done over 100 podcasts since I started back in the day, and these things just keep getting better and growing and evolving into wonderful conversations, and I am so incredibly grateful and happy to have these people in my life who are willing to share these chats with the world out there, with all you folks. We'll be back again next week with another one. I'm not sure who it will be just yet. There are a few in the bank waiting on a release. So let's just let that build up the excitement as you ponder on what sort of guest will be here next time on Beyond the Mat.